International law has become hot news. I've been passing a lot of time in the last few months writing a paper on international human rights and humanitarian law. The recent landmark case before the International Court of Justice, ICJ in short, is the occasion to help you grasp how international justice works, how works the ICJ, what the court decided on Friday, and what are the consequences. Mine is a simplified legal point of view. It is not an opinion, it is not politics, it is not playing one team against the other, it is speaking about law and justice. International justice doesn't work as domestic justice. It has different levels of working and different judges, and it is extremely difficult to enforce. As for international human rights and humanitarian law, cases can be brought before different judges. To simplify, cases can be brought before the International Court of Justice, ICJ, which is a court judging states, not individuals, or before other courts that are judging individuals, like the International Criminal Court, ICC, other ad hoc jurisdiction, like the ones for Rwanda or former Yugoslavia, and some national judges under the principle of universal jurisdiction. What about the case brought by South Africa against Israel? According to the Genocide Convention, the ICJ has a specific jurisdiction regarding the crime of genocide for the states that have ratified the convention. In our case, both South Africa and Israel have ratified the convention. Then they have automatically recognized the jurisdiction of the court on that matter. In the context of that case, it means that the court has only jurisdiction between states. Therefore, it couldn't judge the acts of some Palestinians or Israelis, and the court has only jurisdiction for the crime of genocide. It has no jurisdiction for war or humanitarian crimes as such, like the hostage detained by some Palestinians. Of course, genocide, as the worst international crime and the most difficult to prove, implies the violation of other human rights or humanitarian laws. But these other crimes couldn't be decided separately by the court in the absence of genocide. The final decision will probably take many years to arrive. That is the reason we had a preliminary order this past Friday. What has the ICJ decided? The ICJ order regards the ICJ jurisdiction and provisional measures it has ordered because there is a real and imminent risk that irreparable prejudice will be caused to the rights of the Palestinians in Gaza. The most important part of that ruling is that, yes, the state of Israel is officially on trial for the crime of genocide. The court has also recognized the right of the Palestinians in Gaza to be protected from acts of genocide. As for the provisional measures asked by South Africa, many people saw as a victory for Israel the fact that the court didn't order a ceasefire. It is not. On the contrary, the court has been extremely precise in what it demands that Israel does. Palestinians in Gaza have to be immediately protected from all acts of genocide and related acts. It means for Israel no killing, no bodily or mental harming of the Palestinian population, or imposing the kinds of conditions of life they are currently experiencing, ensuring that its military does not commit these acts, preventing and punishing direct and public incitement to genocide. The ICJ also demands to Israel to take immediate and effective measures to enable the provision of urgently needed basic services and humanitarian assistance. It demands to Israel to prevent the destruction and ensure the preservation of evidence related to allegations of genocide. And finally, to submit a report to the court on all measures taken to give effect to this order within 1 month. As you can see, one cannot imagine how Israel could give effect to this order without immediately stopping most of its operations. That does not mean that Israel must stop searching the person accused of the October 7 crimes or try to liberate its hostage. But it means that these operations have to be done in the strict respect of human rights and humanitarian laws. What could be the other legal consequences of the ICJ order? First, by not asking for a ceasefire, the ICJ could have indirectly recognized the rights of armed resistance and self-defense of the Palestinian population under occupation. Secondly, if Israel does not comply with the ICJ order, the only way to enforce it is through a resolution of the Security Council. As you know, the US have each time put their veto to any resolution asking for a ceasefire. And on the other hand, the US keeps saying that they always ask Israel to comply with the international law. By not imposing a ceasefire, but only a precise and factual respect of international law, the ICJ is paving the way to a resolution to which the US would find it extremely difficult to veto. Thirdly, and this is extremely important, the ICJ has raised a direct and clear warning to the allies of Israel, being states, organizations, or individuals. You know Palestinians are experiencing or are at risk of genocide, so any of your action must take that into consideration. One could argue that some declarations and acts of many public officials in Europe or the United States might be considered as crimes under the Genocide Convention. The same could be said regarding the systematic dehumanization and censorship of the Palestinians' voice operated in the mainstream media and social media, which has been documented by many human rights organizations. These individuals and media should be reminded of the lessons of the past regarding the persons responsible for the Shoah or other international crimes. You cannot hide forever, and there is no statute of limitations for those crimes. And in a global world, any case of multiple citizenship will make it even easier to bring you before a judge. Thank you.